Hey there guys, welcome to another Relentless vlog. Let's talk about the workout. It's going to be a fun sprint mentality workout. The reason why I say sprint mentality is because it will take you longer than that classic 5 to 8 minute time domain, right? Now, because it's not just the box jumps and the shoulder to overhead. Every 90 seconds, including at 0, you will have to go ahead and do 3 front squats. Now those front squats doesn't sound like a lot, but if you load up heavy enough and you're kind of tailing towards the heaviest load that you can think about for that mindset, that's going to work on compressing through your midline. It's gonna make breathing harder, and it's also gonna load up your quads. So, and when your quads are toast and your lungs are really loaded, it's hard to be explosive for a box jump and use those legs for your shoulder overhead. So that is why it's a sprint mentality workout, because you have to make sure after you're done with those front squats, you have to aggressively attack your box jumps and aggressively attack those push press, or you're gonna blink, feel sorry for yourself, breathe for too long, and all of a sudden you're gonna have to do 3 more front squats without actually moving that much closer to the end of the workout. Now, let's talk about front rack positions, guys. Number 1, we need to make sure whatever front rack position you are choosing, you are supporting the longevity of your wrist. If your wrist is always constantly walking away, loaded and not feeling good, we have to understand there's something wrong with our pec, our trap, our lat, our tricep, and it's causing the wrist to be the catch-all in terms of the mobility issue. So we have to understand our low back, if we have poor mobility in our hips, our ankles, our knees, our shoulders, it's going to go ahead and be the catch-all, because we're gonna have to hyperextend through the low back and load there for most of the time. Or if we have a weak core diaphragmatic pressure, right, you're gonna keep on pulling that low back muscle, because that's the only thing that's trying to keep the spine neutral, right? Now, if we talk about if you have poor shoulder mobility, right, and you're always thinking about, wow, the wrist, well, guess what? If you can't bring your elbow up and the wrist being pseudo-stacked in the front rack position, it's because we're too tight in one of those muscle groups that I mentioned, right? And the wrist is then the catch-all position for the shoulder, or this structure. So, number 1, so you can keep on training, working hard, depositing durability credits in the bank, because that's what working out is. Grab dumbbells, get in the front rack position. You can go and get a killer push press, killer front squat, and still protect that wrist. Do it. Don't be a silly just to go ahead and check the box off the RX button. Right? That's why we do dumbbell work and barbell work. And it's okay to realize maybe at this point of life, you're more of a pseudo-permanent modifier to a dumbbell, right? Don't be a penny wise and a dollar foolish, as my grandpa, my mom and dad used to say. With that, let's talk about the barbell position for a good, proper front rack. So we have the collarbones right through here. We want to make sure the barbell lands nice and behind these, creating a nice big meat shelf between my trach and my collarbone. If you've ever had gigantic calcification or kind of bruising through the collarbone, it's because we're landing on it or below it, and we need to try to find it behind it. And also by shooting behind it, it also allows us to make sure that we're using that front delt in the front rack to actually support the barbell. If we go ahead and we find the barbell below the collarbone, as you can see, if I go ahead and camera angle, my front delt isn't able to bite into the bar unless I'm able to find a really dramatic high elbow. Cool, that's great. If you can do that. A lot of us can't get the elbows all that up there. So you need to think, get that sucker back there, and look how much I have to go ahead with the suicide grip. I just have to bring my elbows up to here. Then all of a sudden, if I get closer to the camera, you can see how much more that front delt bites into the bar. And now, not only is the wrist deloaded, but I have a larger shelf to dip and drive and use my legs to get that barbell overhead. So guys, that's what food for thought is for today. A little bit mentality, attack it, be relentless with your pacing. Think about being smart for joints, longevity. If you're like, coach, I really want to be able to do less dumbbell work and do the barbell work without pain. I'm sorry, it means your cross to bear is more mobility work. before and after workouts, talk to a coach and we can give you a lot of items to do, and you're gonna have to be religious about that to be able to do it, or you're gonna end up finding yourself going to PT, physical therapy, if you're gonna be salty about it, right? I would rather you guys put in the time ahead, or if you know your life doesn't allow you to have that much time to put into mobility work, that's okay. Just realize the appropriate modification, which doesn't mean easier and less results, by the way, just might mean more dumbbell variations of workouts. There you go, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you on the flip side.